everybody? Dr. Rick here, dropping in on you. Hope everybody is having an unbelievable start to your week. Well, here we are again. It's Monday, so you know what that means. Another Monday Manly Mandate. This is about defending and protecting black male masculinity, providing insight into the development and the empowerment of black manhood. This is about sharing and learning and growing together. This is the principles of manhood, the challenges of manhood, and everything else in between. And here we are. And so what are we going to talk about here today? First and foremost, look, you know how everything works here. If you like what you see, like what you hear, click the like button, click the share button, and subscribe. If you believe in the work we do at the Black Voice, at the Odyssey Project, in the community, the research, program development, all the things that we've done for more than 3 decades, look in the description box and find out how you can support our work so that we can continue to press on and try to build the black community that we know is possible. And there's no black community without the foundation of black manhood. We are the coverings, we are the protectors, and yes, we are providers, and that can be defined in so many different ways. And this is what we do on this particular segment of what we talk about on the Black Voice. But anyway, so here we are in a culture that is constantly attempting to define who we are. And we are being asked to succumb and acquiesce to the subtle and not so subtle suggestions of a marginalized element of our manhood. In other words, tone it down a little bit. Don't be so bold. Don't be so elevated. Don't be so... What are the pressures to be quiet, to be docile, to be even more effeminate in our presentation? We don't want to be imposing. We don't want, and then they use terms like toxic masculinity as a way of literally alienating us from the identity of what true masculinity is. And you've heard me talk about this. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity. There's toxic behavior by a man. Masculinity in and of itself is mutually exclusive of toxicity. Masculine energy is the execution of who we are naturally, and that is we are protectors, we are providers, we are coverings, we are leaders, we are heads, we are the foundation, we are in our purest state masculine. It is when we start to try to be other things. It's when we get lost in our ego. It's when we determine that it's about me instead of about us, that we lose the focus and we start to diminish our masculinity, and we start to move over to something that is nothing like it. Just because a man does it doesn't make it masculine. Masculine is a reflection of an execution of a principle that's divine. Divine masculinity is not in any way toxic, and it cannot be toxic. If you are doing something toxic, you are not operating in your masculine energy. You're operating out of your ego. You're operating out of a distorted idea. You're operating out of a splintered spiritual identity. But one thing you're not doing is operating in your masculinity. See, when you operate in your masculinity, your instincts will tell you how to treat a woman. When you operate in your masculinity, your instincts will tell you how to handle your children. When you operate in masculinity, your instincts within yourself will tell you how to confront the challenges that you are facing. Doesn't mean you have all the answers. Doesn't mean you make all the right decisions. Doesn't mean you're perfect, but it means that you have an understanding of who you are, and you you're operating within the confines of what's expected, no matter what the challenge. See, masculinity doesn't allow you to fold under the push or the press of popularity. Masculinity doesn't allow you to be redirected for the sake of getting along. Masculinity doesn't allow you to fall back because of something that may be bigger or stronger than you. Masculinity says we stand, we put our feet on a square and we hold firm because it's our job to hold the steady. And that's so important. But here we are. In a culture that's demanding that we lay it down, that we get in a line with what's going on. It's okay to wear what women wear and do what women do and act like women act and everything like that. It's just fashion. It's just being different. It's unique, and it's all purposely pulling us from a part of our identity that makes us the asset to our community. If you take away that part of us, that when you look at us, you recognize that if you cross the line, there's a problem. If you take that away, if you take away the part of us that's aggressive towards that which is negatively encroaching upon our freedoms and the freedoms of those I love, and we become docile, complacent, and acquiescent, we lose the force of who we are in our communities. I have often said that we will only get as high as our women elevate us, and we will only get as far as our men can physically lead us. And we need to be able to lead physically. We need to be able to send a message, not on my watch. We need to be able to say, this will not happen if I'm present. One of the things we've got to do is we've got to make our presence as men the safest space that a woman can be in. I don't care if you like her. I don't care if you don't think she's behaving the way you are to. If she's a black woman and she's in your presence, she should be safe. And that's something that's about you, not about her. And that's the thing that I teach young boys and black men lead. And I teach my young men that are young adults and some that are middle-aged men that I work with. I insist that you don't operate based on how you feel. You don't operate based on what's going on. You operate on the character influence of who you are, your value system. Your value says I protect. Your value says I cover. Your value says I lead. Your value says I show up, not because I feel like it, but because it's what I'm supposed to do. And that means that there are going to be days you don't feel like it, but you show up. There are going to be days that you ain't feeling her, but you love her. There are going to be days that you're sitting up and you're going, what in the hell have I gotten myself into? But you stand firm. Why? Because that's what men do. I am in no way, shape, form, or fashion perfect. I haven't always made the best choices, but what I can tell you is I show up every day. I love every day. I go hard in the paint for those that I care for every day. And sometimes I'm going hard in the paint for those who don't really care for me, but I'm standing strong on who I am, not on what I think somebody else is thinking about me or of me. I show up. And it's not always pretty. It's not always exactly how you think it should be. But the real men show up. Masculinity is us showing up in a way that elevates our families, our communities, our race. It's that simple. We are the heads, not because we are more important. We're the heads because we were given the ability and the capacity to take the blows and the brunt of whatever's coming into the fold, and we absorb it and we push back and we provide an environment for those who are behind us who cannot defend themselves. That's what we do. That's masculinity, and we need to start standing on it. We need to start moving in it, and we need to start coming together as one. Stop competing with one another. Start collaborating with one another. Start building. Start searching. Start learning. We are way more powerful than we imagine, but we've got to shift in our thinking. It's time to shift paradigms. That's it. That's all I have for you today. Look, don't forget, if you like it, click the like button, click the share button, and subscribe if you believe in the work we're doing. And I really wish you would support Black Men Lead. There's so many young black males that need to have a universal understanding of what manhood is. And there needs to be a national network of programs that's teaching a universalized standard of manhood, so that no matter where you go, no matter where you send your daughter off to, she's going to come back home with a man that is executing the universal standard. We need to sit up and understand we are building men right now that are going to be responsible for covering our daughters. On that note, I'm out of here. You guys have an unbelievable remainder of your day.
They said I should give it up, like that just ain't good enough.
Hello everybody, Dr. Rick Wallace here, dropping in with a little special announcement for those who have followed me for any stretch of time. You know, outside of the businesses that I run, like Myriad Business Solutions, the Visionetics Institute, Odyssey Media Group, I also do a great deal of work inside of the inner city communities in Houston, Dallas, and other areas. I'm asking now, as we push a fundraiser, that you support what the Odyssey Project is doing in the inner cities, especially with programs like Black Men Lead, which is a rite of passage initiative, and Restoring Ghetto's Forgotten Daughters, which is a program focused on helping young girls, but boys as well, suffering from childhood sexual abuse, rape, molestation, domestic abuse, absentee fatherhood, and so many other things. The information will be in the box. Thank you.